Yellow-legged green pigeon. Scientific name, Treryn phenicoptera. It has grayish olive-green upper plumage, lilac shoulders, yellowish bands across wings and in plumage on grayish tail. Lower plumage and legs are yellow. Female is patch duller and usually lacks shoulder patch. Description: 33 centimeters. It is a stout-looking bird about the size of a blue rock pigeon. Being entirely an arboreal bird, it is found in peepal, banyan trees and other fruit-bearing trees, going about from branch to branch in quest of food. It rarely comes to ground. The bird is a frequenter of forests, orchards, village trees and city parks. They usually keep in pairs or in small flocks. It often makes loud, deep whistling calls when sitting in trees. It is covering long distances in search of food. The bird spends most time of the day finding food in trees with some resting pauses in between. When they feel any danger, they freeze in the branches of trees and mingle with the green leaves of trees, very difficult to see them. As already mentioned, figs of ficus, other fruits and berries principally constitute its food. In ancient times there was a large population of green pigeons in Punjab, but many old peepal and banyan trees have been cut down by people, and now since these trees are rarely seen, their population is also affected, because figs of these trees is their staple diet. Its flight is fast, straight and strong like other pigeons. Nest is a platform of twigs with outlining placed in a medium-sized tree. 2 eggs are laid which are silky white with no markings. Range resident, southward from Himalayan foothills through peninsula. Black-winged stilt. Scientific name, Himantopus. Himantopus plumage. Male has white plumage with dark black mantle and wings, above and below very long pinkish-red legs are prominent. Female is dark brown where male is black, blackish under wings, black speckles on head, much duller in winter. Description: 25 centimeters. It is a kind of wading bird with very long legs in comparison of its body, which distinguish it from other waders. It may be seen in pairs, small parties or large flocks moving inelegantly in water. Occasionally the bird can be seen singly. Large numbers are found in paddy fields in summer. It prefers village ponds, shallow lakes and geals, paddy fields, drying canals, river edges and coastal waters. As other wading birds cannot reach deep waters, its long legs enable the bird to search food in deep waters. The main diet of stilt consists of water insects, worms, mollusks and aquatic plants. Shrilling notes are often uttered on the wing, and they are very noisy birds during the breeding season when they are regularly heard at night times. Although some birds are resident, but in winter more birds arrive from their nesting grounds in Europe and North Asia. Sometimes they associate with other waders in waters. The bird is easily recognized in flight from its long legs, which are extended much beyond the tail. They are nesting in colonies near the edges of lakes and other water bodies. 2 to 4 eggs are laid in a slight depression in the ground, either not lined or lined with twigs and other material. Eggs' color is greenish-gray with markings of brown and black. Range resident and migrant, all India up to 2,000 meters in Himalaya. Indian river tern. Scientific name, Sterna aurantia. Plumage, breeding, it has light grayish upper body, deep forked tail, white lower body, bright yellow beak and red legs are distinctive. In winter black on head and nape shrunken to spots. Description: 42 centimeters. Sexes are alike. It is predominantly a river bird which may be seen solitary or in small parties flying about unsteadily. The bird is a common sight on large rivers in Punjab and North India and can be seen more often flying rather than sitting. They spend most time of day fishing in rivers. After fishing they are often resting on banks of waters in flocks. The bird can be seen on rivers, reservoirs and geals and other inland waters. It very rarely visits coastal waters. As its eyesight is very sharp, it flies above calm waters and keep watching on fish underwater. They plunge in water vertically to catch fish. Fish is swallowed in the air, gobbling it with the head foremost. Although it does not care much about the presence of human approaching it, but in breeding season it becomes very noisy and aggressive towards intruders to protect its eggs and young. They never sit in trees. The bird is a strong flyer with continuous flapping of long pointed wings. The food of river tern consists of small fish, crustaceans, mollusks and water insects. It occasionally utters a harsh, screaming note. The river terns breed in the mixed colonies of pratincoles, plovers, and skimmers. Nest is a slight depression in the soil near river edges. 2 to 4 eggs are laid which are colored spotted and speckled with dark brown. Greenish range. Resident throughout India. Common sandpiper scientific name, Actitis hyperleucus plumage, winter plumage olive brown above. Indistinct pale line above eyes, sides of head, neck and breast ashy brown with darker streaks, brown rump and underbody is white. In-flight white wing bar distinguish it from equally common wood sandpiper. Summer. Darker above with more heavily spotted. Description. 20 centimeters. Sexes are alike. It is a small wader with slender bill. The bird is met singly or up to 3 in numbers feeding about the edges of village ponds, rivers, streams or drying canals. Common sandpiper is one of the earliest winter visitor and last to leave for its northern breeding places. Some non-breeding individuals continue to live behind in the country all the year. Unlike wood sandpiper, they rarely seen gathering in flocks. It constantly wags the short tail up and down and nodding its head. They prefer to feed along edges of water, picking its food from surface of shore. The bird is sometimes found feeding with other wading birds in marshlands. It looks very busy and active bird. When disturbed, they fly fast with vibrating wing beats and just above the surface of water. It makes a shrill t call in flight. When the bird is at rest, a long-drawn piping song weird repeated many times is usually heard. Insects, larvae, crustaceans, shrimp, mollusks constitute their main diet. They build nests on the edges and islands of rivers and are a small depression in the ground lined with twigs and dry leaves. 4 eggs are commonly laid of stone color or buff color speckled and spotted with rich red-brown. Range. Migratory. Breeds in Kashmir. Winter range all over India. Little ringed plover scientific name, Charadrius dubius plumage. Upper plumage is sandy brown with white forehead. Black bands on head, breast and white neck ring are diagnostic. Chin and throat are white. Lack of wing bar in flight, yellow legs and ring around eyes are other identification marks. Description. 16 centimeters. Sexes are alike. This is little smaller than the quail and is commonly hanging round river banks, lake edges and village ponds. The bird is fond of living singly or in pairs but sometimes seen in small parties also. It often joins with other wading birds when feeding. It walks at water edges with its tiny legs with typical bobbing gait and stops suddenly to pick up any food. Feeling a threat when any bird takes to flight, other birds right away follow that bird. They have an interesting habit of drumming with their toes in a quick vibratory motion when feeding in soft mud. They are so well camouflaged with their surrounding that it is much harder to see when motionless. Its flight is strong, fast with turning and twisting. It produces a loud, whistling tew call in flight. Insects, tiny crabs and worms principally constitute its diet. 3 to 5 eggs are laid at the edges of geels and rivers. They are buffish stone to greenish gray in color with spots and scrolls are dark brown and purplish. Range. Resident and locally migrant, widely spread throughout India south of Himalayan foothills.